Hey, what's up, all my aviation lovers and everyone who's supporting my community right now? Cedric here, and I'm going to bring you my fourth flight. Very fortunately, this intro gets to be super short because I don't have anything to explain. All the cameras function, recorded everything, got all the audio. So this time I don't have anything to talk about. So I'm going to jump into the actual flight. And for this fourth flight, this put me at about 4.3-ish hours. And aside from the takeoff and like landings and all the maneuvers, I'm definitely starting to feel a lot more comfortable with just flying. Still have a couple issues with like the sight picture being wrong and climbing when I'm not supposed to, ending up 300 feet higher than I was supposed to be. But just generally, overall comfort in the plane, I'm definitely starting to feel better. Starting to feel more in control. The air bumps and stuff are definitely freaking me out less, and definitely think that has to do with instructor. He's pretty 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 frequently telling me that the plane's not just going to fall out of the sky, and letting me know that he's right there, and his confidence definitely puts confidence in me. So in this flight, we worked on some slow flight, which pretty much is exactly what it sounds like. You're slowing the plane down to almost like what it would be as if you were landing, and we worked on stalls. And this stuff's important because you got to know how to get out of a stall, how to prevent a stall, because of takeoff and landing. You're super close to the ground, and mitigating a stall or recovering from a stall is very hard. So you definitely have to be very familiar with it. So I just had my fifth flight yesterday, and pretty much we did the same thing. It was just slow flight installs, and definitely starting to feel more comfortable with it, and I'm starting to feel better with the plane. In my fourth flight, you'll see that I spent so much time trying to get my trim right this time that my hand was almost on the trim for most of the flight. So it's definitely something that I have to work on. Trying to keep my hands on the controls at all times, and trying to make sure that I'm constantly checking to make sure that I'm actually flying straight and level. And straight is one thing. I really have this really bad tendency to like turn to the right and climb. Like I'm usually not descending. I'm usually not drifting off to the left. It's usually to the right, and I'm usually climbing. So I'm still working on trying to figure that out. But aside from that, I really don't think that I have anything much else to talk about. The stalls were actually pretty fun. This plane pretty much just shakes, and you gotta not necessarily dive at the ground, but when you're a student pilot, it feels like you're diving at the ground to recover from it, so you can regain the altitude, regain the speed, regain the lift in the wings. So had a good time. Definitely still really enjoying my journey through my flight lessons. After yesterday, I'm at about almost 6 hours, so definitely starting to feel more comfortable. I think yesterday was my first takeoff where super minimal assistance was needed. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to keep growing. I'm glad. Thanks for everyone who has supported and helped out my channel, and been there for all the videos so far. So I appreciate it, and I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys enjoy this flight. Thanks.
3108, runway 34 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff 34 left, number 4129. Alright, we're being clear to take off. Fly it on, verify it's the correct runway, line up, and let's go. Air controls.
My controls.
Air controls. You're going to line up first. Once you're lined up, you're going to just put your heels on the ground.
Yeah,
You're going to go gently full power, 3 seconds to get to full power. And you're going to look at your engine indications, runway, airspeed, runway, and then we're going to pull back. Right rudder, a little bit, no more brakes.
No more brakes.
Keep your hand on the throttle. Speed's alive, very good. Once you're at about 55 or 60 knots, you're going to pull back. There you go, gently pull back. Up, right rudder, keep it there. Gently pull back, okay? Hold it back. And now you kind of want to get to the trim when you can. right? Kind of help you out. So you trim for takeoff, right? So when you release the yoke, the plane stays on that attitude.
Copy, Mike, Quebec, runway 34 right, clear for the option.
Okay, 34 right, Mike, Quebec.
Cherokee 209, and when able, start your turn westbound.
I'll start westbound now, 41209. Turn left. Look to your left,
31
before you
Lima
turn.
traffic, head to your left, altitude indicates 800 climbing will be going out the Fluky Gate. Reference that traffic, you can continue westbound.
Okay, we have.
What do I want to climb to?
1,500 feet.
This is actually our on-course heading, if that's all right.
Turn
Roger.
more to the left.
31 Lima, thanks for the help.
Roger, and that on-course heading to take you to the Jason Gate. That traffic will be going to a gate south of your position.
You see that little road there? We kind of want to follow that road, so let's go more to the left. There you go. Roll out. Very good. Any questions on takeoff?
31, Christian.
Climb to 2,000.
Walk VFR.
Climb to 3,000?
2,000.
All 30587 Golf, contact Potomac departure on 118.905.
Once you're done with the trim, what do you do with your hands?
36, contact Potomac approach on
There you go, very good.
118.9.
How do I do on the takeoff?
How do you do in takeoff? You kind of release your right rudder, or you put too much left rudder, and that kind of side-loaded us a little bit. Try really to just keep the right rudder in there and not really move it too much. Kind of maintain center line. You moved a little bit too much on the ground, and you were a little bit late to rotate.
Okay.
But we'll fix it next time. Okay. All right. So once you're level at 3,500, let me know. And you're feeling good. Release the yoke, check if it works. Release the yoke, hand off the yoke. Alright, pretty good. Good job. Alright, so what we're going to do now is slow flight, right?
Okay.
So what do we do before every maneuver?
Clearing turns?
Clearing turns, there you go. Let's do the clearing turns.
It's about 2 miles, approaching for a cross.
Oh, see an airplane there on the wingtip?
Yeah, oh wow.
You see that?
Yep.
Alright, so make sure we don't hit him. That's why we do clearing turns. Kind of see who's around us.
Runway 4.
Is he landing somewhere?
He's low and he's going backwards, like compared to us. So as long as you turn 90 left, 90 right, he'll be out of our way. Okay. All right, let's go 90 to the right, and kind of go to these mountains over there, so we don't go into the Bravo airspace or underneath it. I don't like dealing with the airspace. I'd rather be in a quiet area. Okay.
Delaware traffic,
All right, what's next?
entering the 45 runway 27.
Pitch, power.
Pre-maneuver checklist, so you want to be visible. Put the fuel pump on, put the mixture rich,
Okay.
and check your engine indications.
Yep, everything
Okay. Good there? Awesome. Now you're going to maintain altitude by... Right, you're going to get into slow flight. So you need to slow down the plane, but you need to keep your altitude, right? So let's go to 3,500 feet. And once you're there, I want you to maintain the altitude and get into slow flight. Okay? Alright, let's go into slow flight. So you just throttle to about what?
I started about 2,300, so now I'm going to go down to 1,800?
15.
1,500?
15, yeah. Let's go, throttle to 15. Very good. Then you're going to hold your pitch, or you're going to hold your altitude by pitching up. That will allow the speed to decay. And you're going to add what?
Flaps.
Go. Very good. Trim the plane and not climb.
Runway 4, full stop.
Alright, lower the nose a little bit. Alright, more flaps. Very good. And then at 70 knots, more flaps. I'm talking about the inner speeds.
Yep.
Alright, okay. Alright, full flaps. Now, in slow flight, we're pitching for what and we're powering for what?
We're pitching for airspeed and
Okay.
powering for altitude.
Alright, look at your airspeed indicator. How much speed do you want to have generally?
More than I have now. 65 knots?
65 knots, right? So if I want 65 knots and we're at 60, what do we do?
Nose down.
Let's go. Don't wait. Good. Now that we have our airspeed under control, we have our altitude not under control, right? So if I want to stop descending, what do?
Power.
Add power, right? So nose down and add power. That will allow you to keep your speed and not descend. Let's go. You need to bring it back to about 2,000 RPM-ish, 2,100 for the power. But technically it's whatever it takes, right? 2,000 is just the ballpark. let's go left.
Clear traffic, 437.
When you turn in slow flight,
No more than 10 degrees.
no more than 10 degrees, very good. If you want to climb in slow flight, back to 3,500, right? How do we do that?
We add power
We add power to,
and then pitch.
Cool.
Or pitch, power.
no. Slow flight, power is altitude, pitch is airspeed.
Okay.
So if you want to climb, you go full power,
Or full stop.
because power controls your altitude, and then you pitch to keep 65 knots.
Okay.
So whatever it takes to get your 65 knots, and you go to the trim and play with it. Alright, let's turn more to the left. Let's turn 90 degrees to the left, because we have a lot of planes around there and kind of want to go away from it.
Pepper traffic, Pepper 7019 Romeo, enter 45 to a left downwind, runway 0.
When you're at 3,500 feet, I want you to stay at 65 knots and stay at 3,500 feet. So what would you need to do in order to maintain your altitude?
Power back.
Power back, very good. How much? As much as it takes to get 3,500. Let's go, continue turning left. Very good. Stay at 35, don't go above that. Keep turning, keep turning. You see a plane there, 1 o'clock, same altitude?
Traffic,
Yeah.
Oh, keep turning. That's why I want us to keep turning. Try and avoid him. All right, stay at 35 and 65 knots, right? So you want to control the power, so you have your altitude. Stop with the trim for a second. Get back to your power. All right. Make sure you can hold 3,500 feet at 65 knots. What's your speed?
Clearing the active
70.
So you're too fast, right? So you want to pitch up. What's going to happen if you have too much power and you pitch up? In slow flight, you're going to climb.
Oh, okay, fine.
So to stop the climb, what do you need to do?
Power back.
Power back. Very counterintuitive, right?
Runway 4.
That's how you land a plane. You use slow flight to know how to land it and how to control it in the pattern. So I want you to maintain 65 knots at all times. Okay? Okay?
Yep.
And I want you to go back to your altitude of 3,500 feet. And it's just and then you can play with the trim to kind of keep the pitch where you want it to maintain your airspeed. What do we say in slow flight? Power is what? Pitch is?
Power is airspeed. Altitude.
Power is altitude. Pitch is?
Pitch is airspeed.
Alright, never forget these two fundamentals phrases. And I want you to go back down to 3,500 feet with 65 knots. There you go. Means if I want to descend, I'm going to reduce the power and I'm going to adjust my pitch to whatever it takes to keep my airspeed at 65, right? If you're not descending, that means you don't have enough power. You have too much power. So you have to reduce more. And yesterday we demonstrated that the plane will fly even at idle, right? But if you keep your nose up, we're going to stall. So you're going to have to keep your airspeed, your nose to keep your airspeed, right? So keep your nose down, 65 knots, right? But you're coming to 35, so you're gonna add power now. Add power now. You kind of need to anticipate what's going on, right? And then it's whatever it takes. Pitch for airspeed, 65 knots, not 60. Kind of really want to find that sweet spot, alright?
Yeah.
And you want to stop descending. Do you understand the exercise?
What was that?
Do you understand the exercise?
Yeah.
Keep your altitude, so what do you need to do in order to keep your altitude? In slow flight?
Power.
Add power, very good. So add as much power as needed to maintain your altitude. Alright, once you're here, recover. So let's go back to normal flight, straight and level. How do we recover?
Everything in reverse, so.
Alright.
go.
Full power. Hold your altitude and then retract the flaps as the airspeed is increasing, alright? Let's go, retract 1 notch now. Let the airspeed increase a little bit more. Trim the plane as that does it. Up, 70 knots, 1 notch of flaps. Trim. You see how you kind of flap, trim, flap, trim, flap, trim? Back to flaps. Trim. And the last one is power and trim, right? Because you don't want to burn the engine. So back to cruise. Bring the nose to the horizon. And we're back flying normally. Any questions? Pretty simple, right? Alright, my airplane.
Your airplane?
My airplane. I'll show you stall, a power off stall it's called. And It's just to show you what happens if you get too slow in the pattern. And if you try to pull up because you think you're descending too much and you're not applying the power for altitude concept.
Okay.
Right? And what's going to happen, basically, we're going to stall. So I'm going to do a bit faster. We just did our clearing turn. I'm going to slow us down. I'm going to not lose any altitude, right? I'm going to hold my altitude, slower the speed, flap, flap, flap. Right? Now we're basically in slow flight. See, 3,000 feet, 65 knots. I put the power in, and here we go. We're flying again. Do a stall, huh?
Wow, that's fast.
Oh, that's just experience. Then I'm going to lower the nose to going to be in the pitch of landing. I'm going to reduce my power to lose my altitude. Right, see how we're descending. I'm descending about 200 feet. Stay at about 70 to 65 knots. And once I lost 200 feet, look outside. I'm going to do like my landing. Power to idle, because we made the runway. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh no, we're too low. I'm going to pull up. So I'm pulling up over the horizon. And look what happens to the airspeed, how it's dying. You see that? And I want to pull. It's not climbing, right? And that's the danger. What's going to happen? We're going to stall. So here we go. See the stall light. And you see I can't hold the nose. The nose just falls.
Yeah.
You see how it shakes? That's a stall.
Okay.
We're literally stalling right now.
Okay.
Right? So that's a dangerous condition if you're close to the ground. How to counteract that? You lower the nose. Below the horizon, you go full power. Right? Once the airspeed comes back up, you come back to the horizon, you retract 1 notch of flaps. You stay at the horizon. You reduce another notch. Then you start climbing, because you want to stop descending, right?
Okay.
So I'm putting a pitch climb upon a positive rate of climb and 80 knots. You reduce all the flaps, trim the plane. Alright, trim the plane. Plane's climbing. I can go back to straight and level by just going to my horizon and reducing my throttle to my cruise setting. Alright? So it's the same concept as going into slow flights. It's just that you bring the power to idle and you pitch up to simulate that you're pitching too much up. Alright, you want to try it? You're going to have to know how to do it anyway if you want your private.
Okay.
And if you want to solo. So it's a required maneuver before you can solo.
Okay.
So let's go. We teach it so you know how to recognize that this thing is shaking and you're about to get close to a stall.
Okay.
Now we're not going to die. We're just going to lose a little bit of altitude. That's why we're up at 3,000 feet. There's the reason.
Yep.
All right? There's no one around us. Your airplane, and I'm with you in case you feel stressed.
Okay.
Okay? Just relax. And the only way to get out of a stall is to reduce the critical angle of attack. That means basically in that condition, push down.
Nose down.
Right?
And then air.
And then add full power, flap, 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 and start climbing.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Go into slow flight right now. And then from there, we'll start descending and stall. Okay? Then we'll start heading back, because it's already 3:20.
How time flies when you're flying. How time flies when you're flying. How time flies when you're flying.
Call for traffic, helicopter 595 Alpha Romeo. We're at the intersection for 4, waiting for the...
Very good. Trim the plane. Try and maintain your altitude as much as possible. You're doing well. More flaps. Gently on the controls. More flaps. Very good. Trim the plane. Awesome. Now lower the nose to maintain 65 knots. Hand on the throttle. Descend about 100 feet. Okay? We'll simulate that the ground is at 2,700 feet. That's just the wind. Just relax. Bring the nose down. Now power to idle. We'll do it together, okay? Bring the nose back up. Gently, gently. Here we go. Hold it right here. Don't move the nose anymore. Just keep it at this picture. You might have to bring more power, more back pressure, but the nose doesn't have to go higher than that. Hold it there. Hold it there. Keep bringing it back. Keep bringing it back. Don't let it. There you go. Feel that? That's a stall. Now you want to. What do you want to do when you stall? Push forward. Full power. Let's go. Full power. Very good. Your airspeed came back. You bring it back to the horizon. You reduce 1 notch of flaps. You trim the plane. You start a climb attitude. You reduce 1 more flap. Very good. Now you want to kind of be at about 80 knots. All right? And you're waiting for a positive rate of climb.
Helicopter 595 Alpha Romeo, making right traffic for departure.
And once we start climbing again, reduce all the flaps, retract all the flaps, go back to 2,500 feet, Go to 2,500 feet, or 27, we started at 27, right? So we'll climb to 2,700 feet, trim your plane, release the yoke, hand off the yoke. Oh, pretty much trim, pretty good.
Ground traffic, terminal 2 Victor Mike.
Alright, 2,700, and then we'll recover there.
Okay.
You always kind of want to come back to the place. Now, I made you hold the stall so you can feel it, but
Freeway traffic.
from now on, every time we feel a stall, we don't wait. Now we recover immediately. Okay? Lower the nose, go back to cruise, turn left, let's go back to Manassas. Any questions on that?
No.
That's a power off stall. That means it's in the landing configuration.
Okay. Yeah, can you explain to me the difference between power on versus power off?
So power off stall is to simulate that we're landing, and so our flaps are down, we're slow, we're a lot of drag, and we come to land and we pitch up too much, right? And then we stall. A power on simulates the takeoff phase where we're clean, no flaps, no nothing, and you just pitch too high. All right, so an example for that, if you want me to show you, I can show you that. No problem. It's actually very easy because there's no flaps to deal with.
Okay.
So my airplane, my airplane, 2,700 feet. Power on stall is literally slow down the plane. So it's just easier to do. 1,500 feet, 1,500 RPM, sorry. Hold the altitude that will allow the speed to die, right? We said we're trading speed for altitude, right? When we arrive to about 65 knots, right? It's mostly the rotation speed, and once we climb, right? We're gonna pull up and add power. Add right rudder, and we're gonna pull up. And that's to show you an excessive pull up. Someone that really wants to clear an obstacle is kind of trying to pull it up. And then the plane, even with power, will stall because we're exceeding the critical angle of attack. So what do? We just lower the nose, below the horizon, full power. Even if we're full, still lower the nose, stop the rate of descent, get your airspeed back, start climbing again. Alright, the only way to get out of a stall is to reduce the critical angle of attack, or to reduce the angle of attack.
Yep.
And how do we do that in a climbing phase? You push down. Okay?
Yep.
Awesome. If you want to try, your plane.
My version.
Culpeper traffic, Cirrus
There you go.
530, Echo 3 mile final, runway 4, full stop, Culpeper.
Your airplane. You can try power on stall.
Okay, so
You want to maintain altitude, do a pre-maneuver checklist and clearing turns. We'll say we did them. Power to 1,500, but you maintain your altitude. That will allow you to decay your airspeed, right?
953, right downwind 36 freeway.
There you go. Arriving at 65 knots, you're gonna go power and you're gonna pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. There you go. You're gonna put right rudder in for the left turning tendencies, right? Not too much rudder, just enough to keep the nose straight. Keep pitching up, keep pitching up, keep it up. Hold it, hold it. Keep pulling back, keep pulling back. There you go. That's your stall. Lower the nose below the horizon until you're below. If you're not below the horizon, you're not gonna keep flying.
okay.
Okay, below the horizon and bring it back. Bring it back to the horizon
Culpeper traffic, Cirrus 530.
and reduce the throttle once you start climbing.
4, full stop.
There you go, it's a power on stall.
Okay.
We have to polish it and shave it a little bit better, but that's the gist of it.
Okay. Potomac approach, Archer 41209, about 15 miles from Manassas, inbound to Manassas.
Direction to Handic Sky Ventures 122.
What is it?
That wasn't for you. Hold on. Descend to 2000.
41209, you were looking for your squawk code.
Say affirmative.
Affirmative, 4209.
1209 or squawk 4632, stay outside the special flight rules area.
We repeat, 4632 outside of the SFRA. Well, too late now. Go ahead now.
4632, stay outside the SFRA, 41209.
Very good.
That
That means you don't pass the lake in Warrington until he clears you. So what we're going to do, 360s, just to turn left, maintain your altitude no lower than 2000.
Manassas Tower, Archer 41209, inbound with Information Hotel for a full stop.
Watch
City
your
Park.
west ramp.
West ramp, 41209.
Archer 41209 or Manassas Tower. Enter left base, runway 34 left.
Enter a left base, runway 34 left, 41209.
Enter a left base, 34 left, 41209.
Complicated the radio? Very simple if you know what to say, right? It's always what do you want, where you are, who you're talking to, who you are, where you are, what you want. Then they'll give you something, you just repeat it.
Yep.
And if they ask you a question, it's generally yes, no, or where you're parking. So west ramp, we always go to the west ramp. So they know which runway to give you, whether it's 3-4 left or 3-4 right.
Okay.
We're going to 3-4 left. And if you go to that further blue water tower, once we pass that one, right?
Yep.
That will bring us to the left base of runway 34 left.
Okay, so hit this and then hit it that way?
And now we're going to start, once you hit that little tower there, we're going to start descending to 1,500 feet.
Okay.
Okay? Careful on the bank. Remember, it's slow flight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, lined up on the runway. Now, I want to see the numbers.
122.
Right now, we see the mountain.
Runway 34 right clear.
So, what do we do?
Nose down.
Nose down, trim, and increase the flaps. Right on final. Very good. Now, this is a super high picture. So that means we have way too much altitude. How do we lose altitude?
Power.
Power. So what do we do? What do we do with the power?
Throttle back.
Throttle back. Very good. Release the yoke. Hand off the yoke. Trim's pretty good. Could be used a little bit nose down. Nose down, trim. There you go. A little bit fast. I'm going to take it from here because I'm going to have to save this one, okay?
Okay.
Coming in a little fast, but just going to save it on the center line. Looking at the windsock. See how we're floating and now we're on ground effect. Once we start kind of coming down, just going to pull back gently and put the plane on the ground. You saw how we start sinking? We sank a little bit too fast in my taste, so I added power. But if I didn't do that, I would have slammed on the ground. Okay?
So you added just a little bit of power.
Just a smidge of power, that's all. But that's a technique that comes in after you solo.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a soft tail landing technique. Okay?